You too, what it do? It's your boy Benjamin back with the crew. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe. Tory Lanez, his trial and drama continue to stir up conversation all over the internet. Some strange reason. People are acting like new information has been released, but it hasn't. Nobody reads anything. People just see pictures, the headline on the picture, and that's it. That's all they run with. But alas, we gotta check out more videos about this. Shout out to
And
Fantano because he does a video about this. If you go check it out.
hello, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well, because I'm not, due to the fact that I have to talk about this story once again, which I'm wondering why it's still a story.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm talking about the Megan Thee Stallion Tory Lanez shooting, which, in case you've been living under a rock, there was literally a trial for where Tory Lanez was charged by the state of California, not Megan, the state of California, and was also convicted as guilty by a jury after days of evidence being presented of witness testimony. Now, you would figure as a result of all of this, this case would pretty much be open and shut by now. But actually, when you go on comment sections across the internet, on social media, on any post having to do with Megan Thee Stallion or Tory Lanez, you will find tons and tons and tons of comments about how Megan lied, she's guilty, free Tory.
Free Tory. And again, the conversation, when you really look at it, is wild in itself because the people that are supporting Tory Lanez, the people that are coming out saying that he needs to be free, are not people that you would really want to be vouching for you in this scenario.
Put Megan in jail instead of Tory. And these calls and proclamations have definitely reached a fever pitch as of late, especially in the wake of this recent story having to do with Tory Lanez being stabbed while in prison, which I will say outright here, I don't advocate for. And while going to prison is obviously supposed to be a punitive experience, it should not be one that just like threatens your life merely by being there. While this is most definitely a problem, there are a lot of people on the internet who, for whatever reason, want to make this Megan's problem. She is obviously feeling the heat of all of this on some level, especially when you consider a recent Instagram post from her where you can see here Megan essentially is going on a rant, kind of just flabbergasted that this hate campaign against her, basically making her out to be the sole reason that Tory.
Why does this keep happening every day? One minute him and y'all said I was never shot, now y'all let him play in your face again and say that I was shot, but it wasn't him. Okay, I'm sick of this. Leave me alone. He ain't dare get on that stand and deny he shot me, and that was his choice because he knows he did it. And that's the biggest thing, the strangest thing I don't understand. Guys, he went up there and took the fall. He admitted that he had part to do with this. And at the very end of the day, if you look at what Tory Lanez was convicted for, Tory Lanez got convicted of 3 charges: assault with a semi-automatic firearm, having a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle, and discharging a firearm with gross negligence. Now let's just come out and say, okay, Tory Lanez, he didn't shoot Megan. Would this retract any of these convictions? I don't think anyone. Well, I can speak for myself. I don't think I had the idea that he did shoot Megan. But if you are someone with a prior criminal history, who's not a resident of the state nor the United States, with an illegal weapon and a gun, somebody gets shot, you're there, you claim possession of the gun, you claim to have fired the gun. I don't know how that ends out well for you.
Now, part of the reason that I'm also talking about this is that this harassment campaign is elevating beyond just comment sections on social media, as recently things began to ramp up with a Republican Congresswoman, Representative Anna Paulina Luna, who has devoted a good deal of her Twitter feed to this topic as of late, and she just kind of started tweeting about it out of the blue, like she has shown no interest in Tory Lanez or this topic previous to all of this. Just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this woman cares about this trial that happened a while ago and is talking about how unfair.
And this has been my conspiracy about this. I think that at the end of the day, somebody saw how easy to persuade and gullible plenty of fans of the rap community can be. And at the end of the day, it's a good segment of voters. There's a good segment of people that you could push money onto. A good segment of consumers. People that you can sway with a narrative or ideology very, 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 very easily. Hive minds. Bird brains. So why not create a following by you pushing a narrative, and at the very end of the day, this could mean something for you in regards to campaigning, policies, or at the very least, business.
The criminal justice system is, and so on and so forth. But like, again, her concern for that only seems to extend as far as Tory Lanez. Like, you're a congresswoman. The criminal justice system has been skewed against people of color for years and years and years now. And all of a sudden, it's like a big issue to you when it's Tory Lanez and it's after he's already been convicted. Anyway, she has been tweeting as of late about new evidence coming to light, and she's going to be dropping new evidence for all to see that's going to exonerate Tory, and it's going to be like crazy. Oh my God, we got to free the guy. It's going to be coming in 36 hours. Watch out, strap up, get ready, oh my God. Now, 36 hours later, after having tweeted this, the evidence, or whatever it is, did actually not come out. It took multiple days later, in fact, for it to get to us, and it has arrived in the form of this new website that I guess has been put together by Tory's legal team, or just somebody representing him in some form or fashion, 36hourslater.com, which, I mean, at a quick glance of all of this, I'm sure if you're stupid, this is all very, like, convincing. Look.
He's got a point. I did a video where I read this stuff, and again, it doesn't seem like new information. There's nothing in there that would infallibly prove that Tory Lanez is not the shooter, nor that he had a hand to play in the scenario. Again, I don't know what this would do in order to exonerate the guy.
Look, they have court sketches, they have photos of Tory and Megan and other people, and they make it look like the photos are taped onto the backdrop. Oh my gosh. Now, if you go on this page, they really try to lay out a whole narrative that honestly is not new. Like, this is the same shit we've been seeing in anti-Megan comment sections over and over and over again, but it's just on a website. Referring to the her stepping in glass stuff as if that has not already been explained, because if you actually remember the story, Megan originally told the police that she stepped in glass and was not shot because she is afraid of what would happen if the truth came to light. This has already been explained by Megan. This has already been publicly acknowledged. The only people this is convincing to are people who have not been following the narrative up until this point. Another major point to hit on this page is, again, what a lot of Tory Lanez supporters are obsessed with is the idea that at the scene of the crime where the shooting happened, Megan and Kelsey were in an altercation and they were fighting, which like, honestly, nobody denies that that happened. In fact, it's pretty clear that Megan and Kelsey don't really like each other. Kelsey, not too long after the shooting, actually dropped a diss track toward Megan. I also love how in this section of the website, they cite a song from Megan, a few bars from Shots Fired, where she addresses an instance of chain snatching, where the Genius page, they screenshotted these lyrics from, don't corroborate these bars as having anything to do with Kelsey. But either way, it is clear that Megan and Kelsey are like not super close buddies and friends, and that on some level they don't like each other. If it was in fact just simply Kelsey who was the sole shooter in this instance and the only person shooting at Megan, why wouldn't Megan just say Kelsey's the one who did it? Again, they don't seem to like each other. When I don't like somebody and they shoot at me, I would.
What would be her purpose in jailing Tory Lanez? Let's just grant it all. Megan Thee Stallion lied about Tory Lanez, and in reality, the woman. So, like, the idea is the woman that she's no longer friends with, the woman that she was fighting, slept with her man. That's why they were fighting in the first place. That's why it led to the point of physical confrontation. That's why it led to the point of somebody reaching for a gun. So, if a woman who I don't like, sleeping with my man, we were fighting, and then she pulls a gun out. If I have to snitch on anybody, why do I snitch on the guy instead of the person that actually shot me? The person that could come back for me. Because again, mind you, amidst all of this, like he said, the woman was dropping diss tracks, continuing to downplay her and slide her on social media. They had a very, very, very public fallout. if she shot me, why am I punishing the other person?
Wouldn't hold my tongue and be like, no, it was this other person. But let's talk about the real big, like, alleged linchpin of this whole new wave of Megan lied and Megan's guilty allegations. This page and all of the stupid fucking hip-hop Twitter accounts that I see
uncritically
posting about this new evidence here, they're really laying everything on this audio from someone who testified at the trial, Mr. Sean Kelly. And I'm seeing posted around this audio of him being questioned a bit, being interviewed by an investigator of some sort. Now, what I find interesting about this audio is that it's quite rambly. The only thing Kelly sounds completely sure of here in this recording is that there was an altercation between the two women who he saw on the scene.
Then the gun, and the girl shoots it. So she...
This is why a lot of times witness statements aren't necessarily the ones that they use in order to convict people. Because, bro, what the heck are you talking about?
The driver's door's open.
You're seeing the girl shoot?
Can I help you?
Like, what is this?
1 minute, please.
I think, is it this house?
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
When he starts to get to the shooting part of the whole thing, he talks about it being dark, having not seen things too clearly. And then when we get to the very end of the recording, where it sounds like he's about to tell us more, maybe vital information, the recording, of course, just cuts off.
But it was dark, and I'm above, so... But then the guy gets out again from the back.
Now, what I find interesting about just hanging so much weight on this audio of this man who was a witness in the trial is that he testified in the trial and had some pretty damning and definitive things to say about the altercation and the whole situation he saw. Kelly testified that he saw an unidentified woman fire the first shot, but that he saw a smaller gentleman fire 4 or 5 subsequent shots in quick succession, causing a woman to fall to the ground bleeding. Also saying, I want to be clear, I never saw a gun, okay, I just saw flashes, he added. He also testified that it appeared to him that the two men at the scene were trying to kill the shooting victim. Okay, so again, regardless of what Kelsey may have done at the scene on that day, it's pretty clear from this man's testimony that the bulk of shots, according to him, were fired from Tory in the direction of Megan, and it appeared to him that the two men at the scene were trying to kill her. And again, this is the guy whose audio recording here these people are trying to use as being like, oh, this is evidence Tory didn't do it, man. Again, I swear to God, if you're one of these music accounts like posting this stuff without actually looking into it, you are a fucking fraud. You're a loser. In summation, just want to say that I find it crazy and honestly like mind-blowing that this is still going on. And
Yeah, solid enough. Tory's team cannot keep the story straight. Last week, they argued that Kelsey Harris shot Megan. Now they're claiming that Megan only stepped on glass. And that was pretty much like they said. The picture that they were trying to paint on that page, after you read through like tons of information that they clip and put out there, that's the sum that they're getting to. That's the point of it all. Megan stepped on glass. She stepped on glass. That's why she went to the hospital. She went to the hospital and she's solely trying to frame Tory Lanez, even though Tory Lanez never shot her. Even like in that, they post information from doctors that had to treat Megan Thee Stallion and had to remove bullet fragments. They continue to rehash old evidence from the trial and repackage it as if it's new information in order to desperately sway public opinion. And that's all it is. You just, like I said, because at the end of the day, none of this information is getting taken to trial to retrial. It's just stuff to help the public gain a perception one way or the other. There was no new evidence displayed today, simply a sad attempt for Tory's team to copy our presentation format to peddle misinformation. It is embarrassing that Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna is integrating herself into the California criminal justice system for clickbait. Instead, she should be focused on serving her own constituents in Florida. Like, what the F is going on? Again, you're simply trying to position yourself to garner a political backing or maybe push a political narrative.
Just want to say that I find it crazy and honestly like mind-blowing that this is still going on and that there's seemingly a lot of money and effort going into this ongoing misinformation campaign. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there for now. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments. I'm sure you...
No, solid video. First, it was she didn't get shot. Now it's somebody shot her. Doesn't make any sense. Favorite lie was that billionaire Jay-Z saw Tory Lanez, out of all people, as such a threat to his business that he put a lot of time and money into putting him in prison. You know how Diddy had an entire police force on his payroll and used... hold on. A billionaire. Jay is heavily invested in a man, and this entire thing killed Meg's image. How would it kill her image? She got shot by a man. If anything, there's sympathy there. Exposure pre-Lanez versus post-Lanez situation is insane. I bet you anything she wishes she handled it differently. I agree with that. Locking that man up only made her enemies, not friends. Sure didn't get any new fans seeing her lock them. Well, I don't know about that. Get a sympathy vote. I think prisons should be way safer and more humane, but the takeaway is that he's not innocent and needs to be freed. As Megan said, they're not pro-you, they're anti-me. You'll never be famous. Interesting. The most annoying part is that these people are trying to gaslight us into thinking that Tory Lanez was some beloved figure that had decades of hits instead of a D-lister that was known as 5'3" Drake ripoff with hair plugs. Oof. The crazy litmus test from misogyny. A C-list rapper who nobody cared about. Once he committed a crime against women, not everybody cares about him. Seems like the only way for these guys to get fans is by harming women. And I do think there's a solid enough take that you could make that at the end of the day, you're able to garner support for the people that hate women and feel like all women just lie. And it's just an example for them to kind of project their own maybe insecurities, their own past, their own mental state about women. A misogynoir. As an opportunity for them to jeer against Megan Thee Stallion and applaud Tory Lanez for how much of a stand-up guy he was and to stand tall in this scenario. But guys, again, what does this mean? Like, how does this help anything? Again, like we said, this is not new information. Remember, this all happened. Like, we were able to monitor it on the timeline. It all happened. It was public. Anyways, y'all let me know. Shout out to Patano.